Hello, my name is not Rowena Ravenclaw, but this is Books for Ravenclaws! I was really excited to film this video because it meant I could break out my Ravenclaw diadem and wear it again. But alas, I just moved and I can't find it in my sea of boxes, so this is going to have to do. I was gonna try to do a Scottish accent today, but I couldn't even hold it together for like, what, 4 words to do that intro? Rowena Ravenclaw. That's not a Scottish accent. Today I'm going to be going through books that I think best feed our Ravenclaw natures. And just because you're not a Ravenclaw doesn't mean you don't have a Ravenclaw nature. You know, we have all the houses. We're all divergent. So we've got little traits of all of the houses. I love me a Hufflepuff book, and I love me a Slytherin book. There's a lot of Gryffindor books that I like. But I am a Ravenclaw, so I get a lot of satisfaction out of reading and finishing a Ravenclaw story. Today's video has been inspired by, of course, H. Potts and his houses, but also by our January Book Explosion book of the month, Reverie by Ryan LaSala, which is most definitely a Ravenclaw book. This month we're working with source books. I'm halfway through. I guess I can't say most definitely, but I feel right now it is a Ravenclaw novel. There's a lot to put together here, and that's what us Ravenclaws, we like to puzzle together. We're big fans of theorizing. We want our theory to be correct. Some people start a puzzly book and they immediately give up because they don't know what's going on. Ravenclaw, they open that book and they're like, alas, a challenge. We love to challenge the intellectual bits of our mind. We love to make those theories and tell them to people and be like, this is gonna happen. I know because of this, this, and this, and this, and they add up to this. Ravenclaw. Reverie follows a boy named Cain who has woken up after this accident, pulled out of a river, and he doesn't remember anything about it. It turns out he doesn't remember like big bits of his life, but those bits of his life are coming at him from all angles, and he has to put together the person that he was that he doesn't remember. It's been pitched as Inception meets The Magician. Reveries are dreamscapes. There's lots of rules, there's lots of mystery. Somebody is dead, Cain's in the middle of all of it, there's magic. It's one of those books that's really hard to explain because it's a big mystery. You just gotta take that leap of faith and read it for yourself. Some dreams will chase you back. I'm thinking maybe this hat is more dignified than my crushed flower crown. Look at how cool this hat looks. Sideways. Let's get into the meat of my favorite Ravenclaw books of the last 10 years. Ravenclaws, we like a story that we're not gonna guess the end of. So you have to be careful when you give a thriller to a Ravenclaw. You know, especially if they read a lot, they're gonna guess the end. And they can still appreciate the story. Like, I can still appreciate when I guess the end. But if I did guess the end, I'm not gonna like the book as much because it didn't challenge me. I want to be challenged. I want to learn something, and I want to open it and read the first 3 chapters and be like, this is how this is gonna pan out, and then be right. Because if I'm right, where's the fun of you proving me wrong? For example, I'm about to show you 2 Gryffindor books. 2 fantastic Gryffindor books. 2 can keep a secret and one of us is lying. These are thrillers, but they're not Ravenclaw thrillers because I read the first couple chapters of this and guessed the end. For a thriller, I would offer up Little Monsters. I did not guess the end of Little Monsters. I did the audiobook and I was on the edge of my seat. I know I talk about these all the time, but Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code. If there ever was a mainstream Ravenclaw thriller writer, it is Dan Brown. And I know intellectuals have some sort of a problem with Dan Brown because they feel like he's treating them like they don't know anything about art. The truth is, yo, most of us haven't taken 50 gajillion art history classes. So when Dan Brown is talking about the extensive backstory of a symbol or this art piece from hundreds of years ago, chances are I'll know it, and I like to learn. Ravenclaws, we like to learn shit, and we like to not be able to guess the end. Angels and Demons is by far my favorite Dan Brown book. This is the first Robert Langdon book, and I feel like it's the most overlooked because everyone just jumped to the Da Vinci Code because this one got so popular because there was so much controversy. But Angels and Demons was so orkin' flappin' freaking good. I read it twice and I've loved it both times. These 2 are rare Dan Brown books where you're satisfied throughout the whole thing and you're satisfied with the end. The problem with the more recent ones has been everything's so exciting and so intriguing and then the end doesn't have the payoff you want. We get the payoff here. There's been one Dan Brown book that was more of a Gryffindor book that I guessed the end of right as soon as the riddle popped up. Digital Fortress. I really enjoyed Digital Fortress. I read that one in high school. I'd more recommend Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code, and then you can go from there. and see what you like. I really enjoyed Deception Point in high school as well. I remember that one had a lot of stuff in it to sift through science-wise. But the thing with a Ravenclaw, we want to be that person that knows all the stuff. We want to be the know-it-all. So when we come across stuff that we're not aware of, we're not like, this is boring. We're like, oh my God, I have to know this. I need to get this in my brain so that I know it, so that I could be at a party and people could be talking about something and I could be like, well, did you know that this and this is actually this? We want to be the fun fact person. Okay, I want to be that person to be like, did you know that bonobos don't fight, they just have sex? I want to be that person. And I don't want to only know it all about bonobos. Everyone knows about bonobos now. It's common knowledge, okay? Throughout my years, I will latch on to facts and be like, that is so fascinating. I can't wait to share it with random people that I meet. And I did that with all the shit I learned in Dan Brown's books. I feel like Ravenclaws are often misunderstood creatures. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world to be a Ravenclaw. You just have to hold these truths to be self-evident. I want to be the know-it-all. I love learning and I love challenging myself intellectually. That's what makes you a Ravenclaw. I'm weird and I'm creative and I accept that. You don't have to be a genius to be a Ravenclaw. You know who was one of us? One of us. Gilderoy Lockhart. That jerk. That he knew one thing. Romanoff by Nadine Randez. First of all, I was enjoying it because I was learning. I'm not an expert about Anastasia and her family and everything that happened there. That's not a class I ever took. So reading Romanoff was this more grounded look at that family all of a sudden and of that time. And I did not know where this book was going. And then it went. And I had a great time. I was guessing things left and right, but none of my predictions came to fruition. I love when it's like, not that none of my predictions came to fruition, but like it took me by surprise, but it still made sense. That's what makes a book super fun. You know, you don't want to theorize 1,000 things in a big fantasy novel, put together all these clues and then have the clues never do anything. You know, that's such a bummer, and that's what a Ravenclaw doesn't want. And that's why I couldn't put some of the stories I love in Ravenclaw categories. Our competitive natures, while we're ingesting stories, gives us more motivation and more patience when going into a novel. So like, say something, let me give you an example. The Fifth Wave. There's a group of people, like I'd say 20% of the people that I yelled at on the internet to read The Fifth Wave were like, no, it was so boring, I hated it, I was stuck. I don't even remember anymore. It's been a while, you know, but they just didn't like it. I literally can't comprehend it because this book was so exciting. There was so much to theorize, and it was this slow burn where things were slowly coming together in this horrifying way where you're like, ah! And it also prompts these philosophical questions. Slowly but surely. Oh boy, do I love me a philosophical ponder sesh. You know how much I love to sit and think about shit that books put out there for us to think about. Don't watch the Fifth Wave movie. Just read this book and just consider this book as standalone. They didn't treat you like you couldn't use your brain. I love when books treat you like you can use your brain. Give me a riddle, please. Let me take 400 pages to figure out. I was the person when I was reading Harry Potter and I got to that riddle with the spider and I wrote it down for myself and tried to figure it out first and then went back to the story. The host. We've got a slow burn. There's so much time to theorize. There's so many rich characters. There's so many philosophical questions about what it means to be human. I love what it means to be human stories. Have you read it yet? Stephenie Meyer's masterpiece, The Host. A lot of people just rush this by because they were like, Twilight, 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 Twilight. Or they were like, ew, Twilight, ew, Twilight, Twilight. Either way, it doesn't matter. If you missed The Host, you gotta rewind and grab that. Fingers crossed that one day Stephenie gives us another The Host novel, but this is self-contained. You don't have to worry about getting to the end and being like, she never wrote the second one. When she said it was going to be a trilogy, I'd already finished this and I was like, what? There's more? You don't need that. This is perfect all on its own. Wanda and Melanie for life. Is there anything more Ravenclaw than reading the Shadowhunter books in order of publication? Methinks not. That's the way it should be done. If you were wondering, if you hadn't seen me talk about it 1,000 times in the past, order of publication. That's gonna give you the maximum amount of theorizing. That's gonna give you the maximum amount of like, You can put that map together in your brain. That's one of my favorite parts of Cassandra Clare's novels. You can draw so many lines. It's just littered with little Easter eggs and excitement. To get that, you have to read them in order. The amount of times over the last 10 years people have told me they don't know how the order is. They can't figure out the order that they release because it's too hard. Dude, we live in the 21st century. I could understand if we lived in 1985 because, like, who am I gonna ask? Still wouldn't be that hard. What I would do is go find the books and look. There's a date at the beginning of every book. There's a copyright date. Copyright 2007 by Cassandra Clare. And you can do that with every book ever. That's how you put them in order if you live in 1985. If you live now, you go to your phone, you don't even have to go. You can be like, okay, Google, what order were Cassandra Clare's books published in?
City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, Clockwork Angel, City of Fallen Angels, Clockwork Prince.
They both die at the end. Great characters and romance. So much carpe diem to dig into. It's the best. I don't know if you want to get me started on the Scythe trilogy. It feels like I never shut up about it anymore because it's amazing. It's just the most Ravenclaw, thrilling, exciting, unpredictable, thought-provoking thrill ride I've been on in the form of 3 books ever. Some people didn't have the patience to get through Daughter of Smoke and Bone. It's a lot of new words to challenge yourself with. This is a high fantasy. The writing is magnificent. And it will never fail to astonish me that Laini Taylor wrote this by the seat of her pants. She wrote this by the seat of her pants. It pains me that I never read the 3rd book because the 2nd one, it was a masterful masterpiece of masterpieces. I haven't even read this book. Well, I read the first 50 pages and I know that this is a Ravenclaw saga. There is so much information. There's so much history to learn. That's part of the reason why I love Outlander so much. I love seeing them live through these periods of history. I have a hard time picking up a novel or a series after I've seen the adaptation of it. I missed the bus with Outlander. I saw the show before I watched the book. And I think that's a little bit of my Ravenclaw coming out because if I know where the story's going, there's no motivation for me to keep reading because I like to guess where the story's going. I like to challenge my brain to figure it out, to unravel before I watch it unravel. If I already know that knowledge, why am I going to waste my time rereading that knowledge? There's so many books and there's so little time. I am so excited to read more in Leigh Bardugo's Ninth House world. And Ninth House world is our world at Yale in the secret societies, but there's a magic system here that is so cool and so grounded and raw. There's so much history to sink your teeth into with these secret societies, and it's so well written and put together in a way where, again, you're trying to figure out where we're going here. What is what and who is who and how it's gonna come together. I love it. And just FYI, this is rated R. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I know that this can feed anybody's soul. It's a fantastic novel, but for the Ravenclaw, it's like most people are like excited to see like, who the next husband was, what happened there, why did they break up. But Ravenclaw's going into this being like, how the hell did 7 husbands happen? How did they fall in the timeline? How many years were in between each? What did each one mean secretly? You want to analyze this shit. There's so much to analyze. You know, Evelyn, she's a Slytherin. There's nothing more fun than analyzing the successful career strategy of a Slytherin soul. This book is so good. One of the many reasons why I loved it is how detailed and how real it feels and how much my brain kept wanting to place it in our world. This is a fictional Hollywood starlet, but she's based on the lives of other starlets that we've seen come and go, and I wasn't there. I didn't live through that time, and it's fascinating to read her talking about it. Hank Green's an absolutely remarkable thing. There are so many fun little seeds that Hank drops in here for the lead character to put together, but we want to put it together first. We're sitting there competitive, like, I want to figure out these seeds before she figures out these seeds. And it's such a fun ride because the seeds just keep coming. It's one of those books that leaves you thinking and sitting with these philosophical cues, what it means to be human. I can't wait. The last Ravenclaw book I have for y'all today is Mistborn. I haven't finished this trilogy yet, but much like Daughter of Smoke and Bone, it is so well crafted and there's such an in-depth magic system and it never fails to surprise. We really need that. Like, we need to be slapped in the face with something that we didn't see coming to really appreciate a plot. Those are my favorite Ravenclaw books that came to mind. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you would like to see books for Gryffindors or Slytherins or Hufflepuffs, let me know in the comments. If not, we'll keep it at Ravenclaws because that is my expertise. My name is Christine. I make videos every week. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye!